Yeah, I'm actually really excited because one of the really cool things about the QuickBooks app is that I get texts throughout the day when people are paying bills, and it puts a smile on my face. Like,
oh, that's good.
Like it's just like this person paid $432.
I don't
like,
know.
Yes, $400.
You can hear every conversation in this building, like no matter what room you're in. And earlier you were on the phone with someone saying, "You're putting a smile on my face because I'm happy, but don't say you're going to do it or not." And then you said, like, "I don't want to get rich by not trying." What did you say?
Oh, so like we are changing out. Okay, so long story
I
short,
said it because you were talking about the QuickBooks
AI.
app and how it made you smile. And I was like, you literally were just saying earlier you were smiling associated to funds. I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
No, so like we have AI being interwoven into all of our projects in some degree, but we have one project, Kaloop, which is it's literally the under everything's built off of AI, and there's been some recent changes through this last 6 months. And I told the team, I was like, hey, we need to switch from this one model to this other model. It's way 10 times faster. This is the future. We got to get there. Well, this conversation happened at the beginning of November. And then we kind of got slow during the holidays. And this morning, I literally just for lack of a better word, I had to throw the smack down and be like, okay, guys, like you got one more week. Like, that's it. Like we got one more week. And then I'm going to go use this other service to fulfill our needs. I don't want to use that service, but I'm basically having no choice. And then, so today, the team had gone through it and done this, and then he's like, hey, I think you're really going to like, what we've done. Like we made some really big process. Now, granted, we've done this for 45 days. And it's like 2 hours, like in 2 hours.
You made it happen.
Sandbagging. No, I didn't make it happen. The team made it happen. And
no, I'm saying, yes.
But that was the thing. I said, well, wait a second. Don't get me too happy. Like, don't get me all excited. Because I got a little excited. And by the way, they were testing like voice prompts and everything else with AI, and it's slow because it's still on the older method. But they're like, oh, I think we're actually doing it wrong. We're going to fix it. Like, I think you're going to. And they were saying, I think you're going to be really excited. But just them saying, like, it's just like when I sit there and I look at someone, I go. If I look at someone, I go, man, what you're about to see is going to be exciting, right? Like they start getting excited because they're like, if Chris said this.
Well, it's all about setting expectations. I always
set expectations so high,
and
right?
I don't like that you do that, actually. Like, if you're going to a restaurant, he's like, oh, my God, you got to try this. This is the best thing you've ever put in your mouth. It is so good. Like, you've never had anything better. And he's so dramatic about it. And
because
like you and I might love something, but like
here's the thing that I realized. One is that people just don't understand how good some things are sometimes because they just don't know what good is. Like it's okay. Like I think when people get let down, they actually just don't know. They don't have a basis to be like, wow, this is the most amazing thing ever. I totally blame them, not me.
Anyway,
I'm not gonna blame you.
Everyone has different taste buds and different things, and so
all right. First of all, okay, look, we just traveled across town to check out our venue for Prodiacs, which, by the way, I am super pumped up about. I will tell you, today has been filled with a bunch of little excitement pockets, and they are like bursting, like flavor bursting. Like I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, what a great day today's turning out to be.
I'm glad you're having a
good
day.
I'm not even joking. Like there are so many little flavor pockets of excitement that's going on that I don't even know where to begin. But one of them was we just checked out this venue, and it's the Benderson Tower over in Lakewood Ranch, and we rented out the second floor. And I mean, it looked cool, but then we went to it today, and I had one of those moments where I was like, wow, like I'm going to have a company event here. Like this is really cool. Like,
yeah,
I don't actually get proud of myself many times often. Like I pat myself, first of all, I pat myself on the back all the time. But when I say
you pat yourself on the back for taking out the garbage.
Absolutely.
Like you need accolades for every aspect of your life.
I am all about self-affirmation.
Yeah. No.
But being proud of myself.
No, I agree. It's totally different. You do not give yourself enough credit.
I do not give myself very
not
much
for
credit.
the big things you do. It is actually It's funny. I could relate it to, so if I get a paper cut or something, I'm like, oh my God, but if like I'm in the hospital for days or I'm going blind or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm pretty calm,
Yeah.
like the bigger things are really,
I don't feel like this is a good like representative of what I'm talking about.
no,
I'm gonna
what
throw
I'm
that out
saying
there.
is like all the little things. It's very easy for you to be like, well, I did this and I did this and I did this. And you'll like take credit or want credit. But then when it's like massive, like, hey, I started a company. I'm up to 40 employees. Like I have corporate events in like local corporate towers that, it's expenses and it's nice venues and it's Christmas parties with 40 people showing up. And like, it's super exciting. And I'm helping these people build families and houses and cars and
Right.
like all of that's very exciting, and you oftentimes don't give yourself enough credit for the big stuff is what I meant.
I agree. Again, it comes back to I don't really think about, it's not where I put my focus or whatever, but there are times when I do get this surgence of like, wow, I'm really proud. Like I'm really proud. And today was one of those days.
Which is awesome. And I think part of it is actually not that it's not your focus. I disagree with that comment because it's actually always your focus.
No, it's a goal.
But I think that true. But I think that also what it is that you actually expect and want so much more. I think your vision is so much bigger that it's hard for you to stop where you are or even
And
look
appreciate the
back and
moment.
appreciate how far you've come.
I agree with that because, in my mind, we have these events with hundreds of people and dark lights. It's like going to a Tony Robbins event in my mind.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that if you want to get to there, you have to do the small events and you build up to it. Like you can't, you're not just going to wake up one day and be like, hey, we got all this extra money. Let's throw a big event. Like, because there was no culture, there's no whatever. But as the team grows, they go, yeah, remember the first event? Remember this event? Remember like, and they're naming these things, or like the first time when we literally had to cancel our venue at the hotel. Like if we look at what we rented for last year, and ultimately we had to cancel that event because we ended up having a child during Project X.
She came 6 weeks early.
She came 6 weeks early. It totally ruined our thing.
But we were in one conference room with like a conference table that sat 15 people.
Right.
Yeah. It was
and there was going to be like 8 of us.
And there would have been a TV and there was going to be 8 of us. And there was one person coming internationally. And it was smaller, but it was actually still a big deal. Like it was
It's still a big deal.
It was still a
Matter of
day
fact,
to shut down.
We were paying more for that than we were paying for, I think, this other venue.
Oh, really? I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Well, I can't remember, but now that you brought
We
it
made
up.
such a big deal about it because
Well,
I think it was expensive.
Well, you had to fight because the lady was like, sorry, you can't cancel. And we were like, excuse me?
My wife's in the
Yeah,
hospital.
we're giving you a week's notice and we just are, my child's in the NICU and my wife's in the hospital. Obviously, we couldn't control this. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Where's
wild.
the $5 insurance policy for the cancellation on Travelocity?
It was crazy.
You know what I mean?
But it was exciting to see the venue. I do think it's really nice. And speaking of culture, we started preparing and looking back at where you've come, we started preparing our end of year wrap up, which is essentially, I mean, people do different things, right?
Yeah.
To look back on the year and we.
Well, I think 98% of people do nothing to look back on their year.
That's a large percentage, but you
Think
might
about
be
it.
right.
Think about from a company, name one other company other than
Wistia, which is where we got the idea to begin with.
Okay.
Right.
But name one company in the Sarasota market that does this that you're aware of.
Well, and my comment was not about a company externally promoting a recap of their year because I don't know of other companies that do that.
Okay.
However, I do think that a lot of companies, and maybe not as many as they should, have processes in place where either an individual manager or an overall company takes the time to review what their goals were and where the company was.
Yeah, I mean, from a standpoint of looking at goals and sitting one-on-one, and the excitement level of that, which is 0, I would agree that happens. But we're talking about trying to make something fun. Because what's actually interesting is that, I hadn't looked at the last year's video until just
So what it is yeah. So
it's like a time capsule.
Yeah.
And watching the 5 of us who were in the video do fun things was just like, It was so enjoyable to watch and just sit there and think back and be like, wow. And it does put everything in perspective. So the excitement of doing this year's and like
Yeah.
reading the text, and what's crazy is that there's so much that's happened, but you still have to, chunk it out to just a few,
Right.
a handful of things.
Well, and I don't know if everybody's listened for a long time, but Wistia was the original company years ago that started doing these fun little like musical wrap ups of their year. And they are a video production, video platform.
video
Like that
company.
is what they do. So they took advantage of their skill sets and they did something super fun, but they also live filming, aspects of their everyday life in business. And so they had a lot of media to work with. At the last company that we were at, we started to, we always said R&D, baby, rip off and duplicate.
Yeah.
Which was like, we had an idea and we wanted to try doing it ourselves, which was great. And what happened is that COVID hit, the world went hybrid or even just 100% remote. And the reality was conferences weren't happening, in-office interactions weren't happening. And all of a sudden, the culture that existed no longer existed in that format. And it actually directly translated to your ability to showcase culture for years after COVID
Years
hit.
after.
And people
Yeah.
started going back to conferences. We were showing videos of The Office from like 4 years prior because we had nothing else to show
Yeah.
to promote ourselves as a brand or a trusted
As a
entity
company or
or a
something that
company
people
that like
should-
allows for their employees to flourish and grow and enjoy life. And so it's so interesting. We went and it got to the point where it was like, we are pulling teeth here, even trying to get like content digitally with people on remote calls. We're going to have to not do this at all because it actually looks worse doing it than it would just quitting,
Right.
the concept, because we don't have that culture anymore. And so I loved it so much as the manager of all marketing that I brought it into our family. And I said,
Correct.
okay, we need to do this at home now because
For
I love it.
For you and I's life.
And so we did, and we also introduced it for our own company. And it's very interesting. So first it was just our family.
Correct.
Then it was the family and the company. And now it's both. And it's like super cool to look back in both aspects. It's absolutely wild and a really great way of like keeping it in a time capsule. But it's also become very evident at the end of the year, because I'm the one who comes up. I know AI exists and it can certainly, I'm sure, help me in a lot of aspects.
The very first song 2 years ago.
No, 3 years ago.
3 years ago,
Yeah.
we hired someone.
Well, I always write the lyrics.
You write the
I
lyrics.
write the lyrics and come up with the chorus.
And we
like,
hired someone to literally write the song.
No,
Or,
to
I'm
sing
sorry,
the
to
song
sing the
and
song.
create the musical
create the music.
background. Now, AI is
Now,
amazing.
last
And by the
year
way,
we
we paid
used
like
AI.
$500.
We paid
for
yeah,
someone to do it. Yeah.
Now we get an annual subscription to a music making AI service for $100
Yeah.
for the year.
For the entire year. So we can do
You
all
know,
of our songs.
so it's
and
like,
they're totally
yeah.
different. And you can pick a song based on like whatever's going, like the
I
ones.
almost went country, but I was like, it gave me pop, and I was like, oh, let's try some pop.
It's like K-pop and it's so funny. It
Yeah.
really is.
It's really good. I'm really excited.
But what's
about
also awesome, and again, if some people aren't into this thing, that's fine. But even the people you'd least expect it, you do these kind of fun little cultural engagement activities. And
it. People surprise you.
they do like getting involved and participating. And it's awesome.
When we do that, and like even like because today we actually filmed.
That's why we're talking about it.
section
Yes.
about that. I sat there and I thought, and you said it in the car when we were just looking at that venue, but you made a comment. You're just like, I like how it feels like a family. Like it feels like everyone's kind of part of it, and they'll let go, and it's like they're just happy, like genuinely happy. I think
No one's begrudgingly sitting there like,
Yeah.
I don't want to
I think we have other offices. I think we have one office that might have some begrudge. It'll be interesting to see. I don't want to. Throw
No, we
in the
can't
universe.
say anything. Here's the thing. Not everybody has to like doing everything. It doesn't mean you're a good or a bad person, but there are many different events that take place, right? Like the Christmas party, like internal company events. And we do all these things because we truly care about our employees. And we don't want it to be forced fun. We want people to love working for our company and feel the passion that we have. So they actually want to show up and want to hear the vision and want to hear where we're going and want to
Right.
participate in the videos because they're going to be there in 10 years to look back and say, I was there then, right?
Right.
Like it's such a difference. And so you don't want to look at someone and say, you're not participating, so I'm going to feel this certain way about you. But there's a lot of indicators that you can start looking and going, is this person really as motivated to work for the company as I am? Because it's,
Right. Or the other people, right?
Right.
So
like, sure, you're the owner, but
you have to sit there and you have to look and go, does it interfere with their job? So like if they're not doing great at their job and they're not a participant, it's probably good indicators that there's probably a better home for them somewhere.
Well, and it's so crazy. So we were just talking about this. We went to dinner with some friends the other night, and now we're getting down this like employee train. But we went to dinner with friends the other night, and they were having a discussion of an employee who's literally been with a company for 25 years.
25 years.
And they've been causing issues, documented issues for 15 of them.
Yeah.
But they had a relationship at the top.
Yeah.
And they literally have gotten themselves to the point where they've continued to have excuse after excuse made for them.
Yeah.
And they've become like toxic internally and an external liability.
Yeah.
And the reality is a lot of times, sometimes it's sales. The people who are bringing in the most revenue are the hardest to justify getting rid of, because you're like, oh, do the relationships exist externally?
And they're not necessarily in the office. They might be like traveling or
right.
this or
So
that.
you sit there and
you're
go,
like,
how big of a
how
deal
much are they
really
really
is
going
it?
to impact the company?
Yes. Yeah.
The reality is they are impacting it quite a bit. You just...
And it's hard. It is so hard. There's the saying that's like, hire slow and fire fast. And it's like easy enough. But like when you're growing, there are people who get intrinsic knowledge of the business and, they just understand the product or the people or the history. And so it's hard to make those decisions. But I feel like most of the time, like any difficult decisions in life, you always, when you finally make the decision to do what is the right thing, and I don't know what that is, you realize I really should have done this a long time ago.
You should have done this a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that you realize that like there are some struggles like in the time that that we've been here where I've had to really think about what's the right decision for the company and we've made that a call once. We've actually made the call twice, in the last in the last 2 years. And then I sit there and because we bought another company, we're doing a whole evaluation of that group and making, hey, and we haven't come to any conclusions yet.
It's always hard when you do acquisitions because one, you don't know the business enough to know how much value people are bringing or how much they know about the business.
And I'm trying to.
And two, you didn't hire the people. You haven't had the ability to train them. You haven't had the ability to provide them the tools and the knowledge that they need to be successful.
I don't know how much loyalty, when you get acquired by someone, it's almost kind of like maybe you feel like an outsider or not, where I look at them and I'm like, hey, by the way, we have 50% of the group
Next
there.
time you're going to have to leave your phone on your desk. It's like rang 20 times.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like vibrating
today.
the whole.
People just call me to congratulate,
For your exciting moments.
Yeah, I think so. They're just calling, just be like, hey, I just want you to know that, I mean, why can't we get that? Like, there should be a service where you could be like, put your name in, put your phone number, and just get a bunch of AI voice. So like, hey, I heard the good news. Just wanted to call and congratulate you, bro. Like, and just like lift you up.
I can call you to congratulate you, but I'd get an ignored button, and
Can
then
I call you later?
Yeah, it would be the
Hey, look,
custom text.
first of all, I
on
do
a
take
call,
I
call you
take
later.
the time to write you a custom text. You should feel special.
Oh my God, this is so funny. Sorry, I'm not, Mom, this is not making fun of you, but my mom has an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
And so she's so funny because you know how when you can't answer the phone, it does offer you like these messages you can send. So the other day, she keeps hitting buttons on her watch. And the other day, it literally was like, I called her.
Yeah.
And I got a message back saying, can I call you later?
Right.
Well, she didn't realize she hit the button saying that. So I responded and said,
And then she responded back.
I said, yeah, of course. And then she responded thinking that I called her and then said, can I call you later? Like she thought like I hung up and then was like, I'll call you later or something like that.
Yeah.
So she goes, okay, but I was just about to call you. Can you talk now? And I was like, what?
What is going on here?
So my phone, I called her. She didn't answer. Then I got a text from her that said, can I call you later? And then right afterwards, she was like, well, are you available? I was going to call you now. I'm like, ma'am, you're talking to yourself.
darn Apple Watch.
I know, but you sometimes give me custom messages back, not all the time.
Well, now really what I want you to do is that you call me on my phone but I wear a headset all day, and then I'm like trying to pick up things, and I'm like, just Slack call me, because then I have my headset on, you pop up, and then I can be like, yeah, I'll take the call.
There you go.
You can even see me.
But everyone should keep their eyes open for what's happened. We had a really good year in business, which we're going to review with all of our employees.
I mean, a good year in terms of growth and everything else. It was definitely I would say that, and you would agree with me on this, is that while I don't necessarily would say out loud that I am stressed or I experience stress, I would say the closest thing to stress is probably, what I felt here in this last quarter.
Okay. It's just called stress.
No, I don't acknowledge stress or anything like that.
Discomfort.
First of all, let me explain something. That I am stressed because I actually become sick, and I have not become sick at all. So,
well, you did on your birthday.
Crap.
And you've had some other.
But that's because we went to Disney and everyone gave me the oof phone.
Anyway, you know what? Running a business is stressful.
And
whether
can be
you want to
stressful.
call
and
it stress
the holidays,
or not.
right? Like holiday stress. It's just that we have a lot of products that we're bringing right to market. We're in market, and it's just like, all right, we got to make it happen.
Well, and again,
and then of course I did silly things like buy another company on top of it. And
it's silly.
Yeah.
Gave us the cash flow we needed.
Yeah.
Just
keep it going. Keep it going. But actually, speaking of launches and getting time, we just launched last week. Drum roll, please. Homeinspections.com is live. And I have talked to 4 inspectors, all of which are excited. They want to join the program. It's not quite ready, even though we made it live. There's a few things that need to get done. And I'm violating a number one rule. If people want to give you money and sign up, you sign them up. Because one, you can help work through the issues and everything else. I've reached out to 2 people to become sales reps. One who's a mutual friend of ours who I've been getting, took to lunch, called him back up, was like, hey, I got this live, you're interested in maybe helping or anything like that. Did not get back to me again. And I was like, you know what? I really need to let it go. I just need to let it go. Although I think they would be the perfect person to help. There's a twofer there, right? In my mind.
I'm trying to think of who you're talking about, but I can't.
Yeah. Yeah. You would know, you would know right off the bat. So what's nice actually, I never thought about we can communicate.
Would be the perfect person.
Okay.
He just wrote it down on a piece of paper.
And then the other thing is that I called a college friend of mine, and just in talking, he literally messaged, he's like, hey, how can I make an extra $3,000, a month? And I was like, well, shoot, I got a way you can make a little bit extra money, and he does software sales. So I was like, hey, you might be all right fit. Gave him a thing. He was going to go talk to his wife and get back to me. But one of the things that he said,
ask his wife permission. Can
I make money?
Make extra money.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I know. I was actually gonna say something about it, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let this go.
Very respectful.
Actually, the one thing that I did say something about, which caught me off guard, he's like, well, if I do this, I'm gonna have to run it by my employer. And I was like, run it by your employer? What? He's like, well, my contract says that if I do anything else, that I have to notify them. I'm like, bro, no, they put that there so that they could fire your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you thinking?
Do not follow your contract.
Do not follow your contract.
Yeah, they're never going to find out.
I was like, dude,
are you crazy?
No. He's like, well, I'm worried if they did find out.
All right, stop.
Then it would be worse.
Well, now they will because we're talking about it. No, I'm kidding.
No,
but
they're not listening.
Well, okay, I was going to say a couple of things. One, very respectful. He wanted to talk to his wife, and I was going to jump ship and start talking about how you just threw something on my calendar tonight, which is painting, because you're just like, instead of being like, hey, can I do this? You're just like, by the way, I'll be gone on an entire day over the weekend, and by the way, I'll be gone all night.
Have you ever seen that commercial in the 90s, probably early 90s, maybe late 80s, where it was like the mom's in the kid's bedroom, and she's like found like a blunt, and she's like, where did you do this? Where'd you find this? And he's like, I learned it from watching you. And then the commercial, pans to the mom, and it's like, don't do drugs because your kids will do drugs.
What?
Okay. Yes. It's like a huge commercial. And
so weird.
Okay. But back to here. Okay. The reason why I threw something on your calendar is because I learned it from watching you.
Got it. Okay.
You were the queen of just throwing things on my calendar.
Your comparison was a 90s commercial on moms doing drugs. I was like, where is this going?
That's how much it's affecting me. First of all, what am I? Am I Gen X? I think I'm Gen X.
Certainly not a millennial.
I'm not a millennial.
I was Gen
Anyway,
Y.
any Gen Xer will sit there and know that commercial and sit there and say that, like whether it was an egg in a pan and this is your brain on drugs. Like that's the Reagan
I
era.
think I remember
like
that.
Like we're all traumatized.
Yeah, probably.
It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are?
Weren't we just talking about that? We were talking about capture the flag and like hang out at night in your neighborhood and stuff, and that there used to be, because we were talking to one of our favorite restaurant owners in town, and he was like, literally all of our neighbors, when he used to be outside playing, the moms would flicker their light. And so if one mom did, then the other one did. And it would be like, they'd be like paying attention. They were like, you didn't need cell phones. They had dinner bells, and they would like flash their lights.
And I remember being as a kid and be like, hey, don't look down the street. I think you're like, do you think that she thinks that we saw it?
Yeah.
You know, like, are we making noise? And of course it's like, mom with eagle eyes on the front porch, and she's like, she could see us out there playing.
I was just gonna say,
Luke's house.
If anyone could see you, it was your mother. Trust me, she saw you before she even flickered the light. It was pitch black, and she was like, I'm gonna see how quick his ass moves.
What's interesting? I could tell you story after story about our childhood and growing up, and my mom used to lock us outside, and we used to drink from the hose.
Well, that's what we were talking about the other day. He was like, if you were a boy, you had to pee outside. He was like, you can come in the house to go to the bathroom.
No.
You were dirty from playing
We
outside.
peed outside.
Like, it is such a
drank the
different
water
world.
outside.
It really is such a different world.
It was like one thing. We had these neighbors that moved from up north, and they were on the liberal side, and this woman, I think, actually like turned my mom in to like child protection services
Because you guys were locked out of the house.
Because she's like, well, why don't you go home? And me and my brother are like, oh, my mom locked the door. Like, she's like, what? You're not allowed outside? It's like, well, how do you get water? We drink from the hose. Like, to us,
and these
it's
are
like the Clampets.
I know.
Just sitting here.
But these are okay. So I read a book that was like based on historical truth. So it's Kristen Hanna's Nightingale, which takes place during the war times. And it's so crazy because literally, like, there's a baby in this house, and like Nazis come into the house and like take the mom and the sister or whatever, or just the mom, to like go down to the train station. And the whole time I'm reading this chapter, I'm like, there's children in that house. Did that mom just leave with the Nazis? To like, who's watching the kids? Like, the dad's at war. And so I'm like, she just left? Like, she's probably sitting there, it's so crazy. And I'm like, that's such a real life example of how different things were. She didn't have a choice. Like, she left, and those kids, like, maybe they didn't eat, maybe they did, like, they survived,
You're right. My mom didn't have a choice. She worked at the cleaners and went to the beach.
But then there's another example in this new show that I'm watching.
My brother out there fighting ant
There's
piles,
a poor little 7-year-old girl, and the mom's like an alcoholic, and she's just not there.
You're going like really dark with. Here I am talking about my childhood,
your mom's
which
amazing.
is amazing.
Okay,
and you're bringing up
amazing.
Nazis.
Your mom locked you outside and made you drink out of a hose.
Oh, it gets worse. Trust me, that's the good stories.
But okay, we're gonna circle all the way back because I did get distracted. First of all, you are painting both.
So we're gonna paint the office and
the new office, the new building.
Well, the warehouse has some walls, and I want to highlight them and stuff. And if you call a painter, right, and I look at this, and it's like this time value money. Now, I have already offered several people in the office the opportunity to paint, and people are just like, no, they're not going to.
Yeah, you said to me yesterday that people were in production and had to get sent home early.
I was like, if you're getting sent home early,
like, well, if you'd rather have the hours and you feel like painting, and you were like, but nobody stayed to paint.
no one stayed to paint. And so I'm sitting there, and I look at it. That was my first step. Like, I have team members. I would love them to get their full hours and paint. Like, I have things that they could do. Now, they've chosen not to do that. Now, my next option is to hire a painter. Fucking expensive. Like,
Painters
they're
are
just
so
so expensive and sling and paint. And this is a
Internally
warehouse.
and externally.
And look, here's my thought. Like, someone would sit there and go, as the owner of this company, your time is too valuable to paint. Like, people would make that assertion. I look at it and I go, okay, I do a lot of thought and a lot of thinking about what I'm going to do things. And I actually like code or design or create architecture in my mind all the time. And I'm sitting there and I'm working. I'm not be writing anything down, but I'm visualizing everything. So for me, I could literally just roll paint on a wall while I'm literally designing out some of the features that we need and think through it. And I feel like I'm just making twice as much money at that point because I'm not paying the painter and I'm thinking through the concepts. it's just like a man mowing the lawn.
Right.
You mow the lawn and what do you said that waste? No, you're thinking about life and you're thinking about things you want to do and you're planning, this or you're planning that. Like
Some people aren't thinking as hard as you are, but I do agree that it's nice to kill two birds with one stone, and you have a scissor lift.
I do have, oh man. Okay, before I forget, I got to tell you this thing. We were in the meeting on Kaldoop, and we were, Heidi needs help setting up.
I heard this today, and you said we're in a meeting right now. Just because we're all standing doesn't mean I'm available.
No, this was yesterday.
Oh.
And so we were
I
sitting
thought
there.
that was a bra.
Yeah. And we were sitting there and she needs help setting up the booth. And I was like, well, why don't you use like TaskRabbit or stuff like that? It's like, it's a thing where people need help or anything. I go, I don't know how to use it because I'm my own TaskRabbit.
Right.
Like, because I don't need help with things.
No.
Like,
No, you would never ask.
I would never ask for help.
No. Is that your story?
That was the story, but I own a scissor lift. And so,
I'm my own task.
one, if we had the scissor lift when we painted the cottage, I don't think it would have worked that great because we
first
couldn't
of all,
get
we
into
would
the
have had to have
kitchen.
gotten the scissor lift there.
In there, right? Yeah. But it's so cool having a scissor lift and being able to like lift up and paint and like.
Yeah.
I just think it's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. You got a forklift. You got a scissor lift.
I own a scissor lift and a forklift.
Yeah, that's
I'm super
awesome.
excited.
I know. That's
Yeah.
really exciting times.
There's probably construction guys out there that are like, what? I got 5 of them, and I'm sitting there, or like they got a big warehouse. They're like, oh, I got all these, and I'm sitting here going, I got a forklift. I'd like to wrap that forklift one day.
There you go.
I think
I
it'd
know
be
a place
super
right
cool.
down the street. You can drive it right over.
I know.
And get it wrapped.
Yeah.
There's a sign
We have a
shop
lot
on
of
our
wrapping
street.
stuff to do.
Yeah.
I think we're going to end up buying that company one day.
I don't think so.
I think so.
Anyway, but what was I going to say? We were talking about development and features and launching new products and where you were. And I was just going to say, it's actually one of the things, this is like total sidebar and going back to what we were talking about, but one of the things that's so crazy about developing softwares is always this expectation of what you're going to get and when you're going to get it versus what's realistic. And it's also like some of the terminology that's used when you're doing it. Like you said the other day, you're like, I've been waiting for this. And finally they turned it around and they were like, I think I'm going to be happy. So sometimes communication can either be lost or just unprioritized internally. And two, it's like when you're working with clients externally, when you sit there and you say like, we'll give you alpha, we'll give you beta, we'll give you MVP. Like these are terms that are used in developing software. And a lot of times like, or you're like, we'll go live. Right? So when you say those words, people are like, we're going to be fully functioning like live external to a client. And
They
like
think
to
they're
a,
the next Facebook. Like
to a developer, like that is never what they mean. And oftentimes I would say probably developing new technology, whether it's platform or software or whatever, people find if they become disappointed. Like I was in a company that was a portfolio company of AKKR. And I went to some of their leadership conferences. They have like 90, portfolio companies that show up to these things. And there was individuals who were running their technology teams. And every single one of them had the same thing to say. People want more features and faster time and don't think we're developing or fixing what it is. And these people were anywhere from teams of 10 to teams of 200 globally. And it was like same issues. You're not doing it fast enough. You're not meeting our expectations. There's all this like, oh, what was the word for it? There's literally softwares now that exist to help manage. I know Jira and everything, but there's softwares that exist to sit there and go, how much time was wasted on trying to get this feature, or something that never came to fruition or whatever. It's like, and then they're trying to calculate the actual return on investment of time. There never is. So like, crazy.
And I don't because I've been in this business long enough and we built software for myself and other people, like I know what it takes and I do know like MVPs and getting a product out there. And we have a client and I shit you not, they probably have 12 people, like paid people on their team and their product's not launched. And if they actually sell something in their product line, they might make like $2, right? Like I don't know how they can sustain it. And you look at the way we build product and it's like, okay, we're building a product. We've got 5 or 6 engineers on the one product. And then we have one person that's overseeing all the operations and running the day to day to get those first sales and to get it in and to test it and to clear it like that. And like in my mind, that's the way to run a project, because it's like, why would you have all this overhead, which is wasted money, right? At the end of the day, if you don't have a product, you can't make
Well, and it's a lot of
revenue.
opinions from people versus like one clear vision or direction.
Very
or someone
clear
to,
vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just software development is so interesting to me.
Yeah.
And it's always someone in the equation. Doesn't matter what company you're at, doesn't matter what phase you're in. Their expectations are always not met, essentially. Like they were thinking something other than what's being delivered, or they delivered something other than what was being expected.
Right.
You know, seems to be.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's the thing that we constantly face.
hard business
I
to
am
be
looking
in.
forward to the day that we are today we are our biggest client of all of our paid clients. We are our biggest client, but we still have to have paid clients. And so I'm looking for the day when we are our only client, which means that our
We won't.
ventures,
We always say this. We won't drop the people that we have, but we just won't need
we won't
to gain
keep
anymore.
adding more.
Yeah.
And right now we are looking to add more just to defray, the burn and everything else as we keep rolling out product. But I do think this is the year where we are being forced to make the switch. And we'll do that as quickly and swiftly as we possibly can. So I'm pretty excited about that. So
Cool. What else do you got?
I don't know. You were looking at my list and I was like, oh, what am I missing?
No, you're not missing anything. You wrote things down.
Well, we actually decided to expand our space. I think a lot of people, like, their leases come up throughout the year. Our lease happened to end at the end of January. And so she just took the pen out of my hand. I was clicking.
Yeah, you're clicking it the
I need
whole
a little
time.
fidget.
Everyone
fidget spinner.
listening is like, what is that sound?
What's that sound? The clicking sound.
People just check their fridge 10 times.
I hope
know.
so. But we decided to just expand in the building. There's a little bit of space left in this building that we're in. And so I made a deal to rent the rest of that out. And I'm actually in the process of helping them sell equipment that's back there, which today I was supposed to get an update on the offer to buy the equipment. I have not heard back, although I messaged and I was like, hey, what's going on with this? So I'm hoping to get that call. But what's really exciting is that we're going to move a lot of the stuff that's out in the warehouse portion into the new warehouse that does not business oriented. So those items are going to move out. And then we're going to expand a little bit into this space. And we're painting, and we have new walls going up this weekend in the warehouse down the street. So
Very exciting.
I'm excited about that. So that's what the rented more space is. And I put down broken down dryer because we we have these massive dryers that you throw
This
shirts
is not
on.
the dryer in our home, which
It's
we
not the
talked
shirt in
about
the dryer in our
last time.
home.
Yeah.
But we have this one. I mean, the dryer is the size of a car, like an SUV.
Really?
Yeah. And so we broke it into pieces and put it in a corner. They just
'Cause
to
you don't
transport and
use
get
it?
it. Yeah, because we don't have the presses to support that, and I'd rather use the space for something else. So we kept the centerpiece, and I'm going to build a wall around it so it's protected because it's hooked to gas.
I
it's
literally have
ventilated.
no idea what you're
And
talking
then
about.
the goal is that if we ever need it, we have all the parts. We can put it back together and we can get it up and going at relatively low cost. But we just broke it down, and I have all the space I need to have pallets and fulfillment and everything else. So, anyways, super excited to get yeah.
To get what? Did your brain just short out?
to get the walls up this weekend.
The walls up?
Yeah, the new walls
Painted?
up. No, not painted. I'm gonna get the walls up so we can start
What
electricity.
walls? What are you
At the
talking
new
about?
warehouse. At the new warehouse, we have lots to build. Lots to build.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think you just short circuited.
I know it happens occasionally. It's like overload.
Yeah.
It just crashed.
I think so.
Yeah,
Well,
it's exciting though. I'm excited. There's a lot of great stuff that's happening. One of the big things that's happening at home is Traders came out.
we're big Traders fans.
And if you are into your reality TV, Traders, I do think is probably one of the best. It's on Peacock.
See, don't go setting expectations. It's a good show. No,
It's
we
the
do.
best show you'll ever. It's the best show of the year.
Yeah. No, we do like it.
Traders.
It's good. We've been watching that. There's a lot of things on Netflix right now that are like books that have become either like short series or movies. And some of them are good, but
I think with AI and with movie production going down in cost, it's so easy to take a book and just make a short little couple episodes, you know?
Yeah, you think?
Like, oh,
I don't-
absolutely.
AI is not making these things.
Are you kidding me?
On Netflix right now, you think AI is
Anything with
creating-
any amount of sci-fi or 3D generated images and stuff like that, AI is 100% playing a part in video creation.
playing a part? Okay.
Yeah, they're not just like typing the book in and be like, hey, make a movie with this. And it's just like, hello, I'm your 3D animated character and I'm dashingly handsome. Hold on a second. Dashingly handsome. Speaking of dashingly handsome,
Oh my
Okay.
God. I don't even know what just happened.
we made this landing page for Kloop and they had this
I
guy,
saw.
cocktail guy.
and
I'm
you
like,
were like, he's not great. Then someone put a picture of like a bunch of 80-year-olds, and it was like, no, they're too old.
well, no. And then Robin, bless her heart, she gets this picture and it's just like this girl, this model.
yeah, it was like
blonde hair,
girl in a
red
red
dress,
dress.
holding
I
a
know.
cocktail. And I go, these are not cams. Like, these are not the people.
I honestly wasn't going to comment because I wasn't sure if you did, but I'm like watching this all. Yesterday was an interesting work day for me, quote unquote, because I was at home and I'm on Slack channels and I can see people having conversations, and they were discussing the landing page because it's like a new giveaway, and it was like have a cocktail hour on us.
Yeah, well, it's our new event, our new nighttime event called Cocktails with a K.
Right. Oh, nice. And then there was at my other job where I'm doing some contracting or consulting. They were going over an ad. And so at that job, I'm like looking at this ad and I'm like, what is that graphic? What does that even say? But I'm like trying to keep my opinion to myself. And then I'm waiting. And one of the girls I used to work with, I used to be her boss. She's like saying all these things, and I'm like messaging her privately. Thank God you just said that. I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, literally everything on my mind, you keep typing. Thank God. And she's like, you have no idea how much that means to me. But then on your side, I'm watching all these pictures come through for this cocktail hour, and I'm like, what is happening? And they're like, I like this girl with the red. And I'm like, no. I'm like, oh my God, these women are like, in their 60s, like it was just,
Yeah.
It was quite.
No, it's like trying to find
I didn't
the
see
right-
where it ended up, but it's important.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
To
It's
know
getting close.
who your audience is.
And the team bought another 2 weeks. We pushed the event back 2 weeks because we want
And
to have
look,
time.
if
to
it was a bunch
get
of
it out
older
there.
men who wanted to win a cocktail hour and a little blonde in a red dress was standing there welcoming you in, like maybe that is the right campaign.
If we were advertising to old men, but we're not. We're actually advertising to middle-aged women.
That's
It's
what he just said.
It's our target market.
I know.
And I know I'm being like so like
No, people can be stereotypical.
stereotypical. Like I'm stereotyping the position, but it's kind of what
It's
it
not
is.
stereotyping. You have an ideal customer profile. You literally
Exactly. So I'm going to cater to that. I'm going to call it out. and say
Nike
exactly what it
is like young athletes. They're not sitting there putting 100-year. Well, Nike's actually gotten pretty good about expanding their horizons. Across all age groups and races and.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying there are very
Sign of the
specific
times.
Yes, target markets that people focus on.
Yeah,
depending
and
on
they're
what they're selling.
better off or whatever. It's interesting because we have a brand called Fuelings, and I haven't decided exactly what it is, but there will be an apparel component to it, and part of it is sending out a shirt with anytime someone orders the product, just sending them an athletic shirt to wear because people need athletic shirts. And because we own a company that makes this apparel, we can make this stuff for like $2, right? So, and since someone's already paying for shipping, right? So for me to get that shirt into your hands would cost me $10.
I feel like Fuelings comes up like once every 10 podcasts, and it's something that's so like doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's not on the roadmap
I know
for
you need
this
to get
year.
it out of your head.
No, but I love
and
it. I'm
these
in
ideas.
love with it. I'm in love with it.
Okay, well,
Can't help it.
more on that in 10 episodes.
In 10 episodes. So in 2.5 months, you'll hear it
See you
again.
guys later.
Oh, we're leaving?
Yeah, it's over.
All right.
Better than you running away.
I feel like we accomplished a lot today. Like, I think the only thing that we need to talk about next time is budgets. Let's go over budgets.
Oh, I'll miss that one on purpose.
No.
I heard my budget was unlimited for the year.
No, I'm talking about our house budget.
Yeah, that's also unlimited.
Okay. We'll see you next week.